Good morning. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Teach Better Today morning show where Katie Miglin and I are live to welcome you in to your amazing day ahead. I clearly have a cold because I sound like a hot mess express. Katie didn't have her alarm go off this morning, so we are rocking it for you here today. The team loves being a part of your morning every single day at 7 a.m. Eastern. And even though we may not be at our best, we are here to celebrate with you. And we're talking about healthy routines because I need to figure out how to get my healthy routines back on track for November. So we'll be right back. Good morning, everyone. Happy November. I mean, it's a day in November. It's cold. I love this weather. And I sound like a man. How's everyone else? Katie, how are you?
I'm driving the struggle bus, but that's okay because I'm here with you now.
We have all had instances where our alarm doesn't go off. This is very this is teacher nightmares 101. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you look beautiful. If that's what you look like getting out of bed, you shouldn't ever wake up and get ready. Just look like this. You're gorge.
Oh my gosh, thanks. Yeah, I texted Ray this morning. My alarm. I intentionally turned off my alarm. I will admit it. I turned mine off because my husband has his own alarm set, so I expected to hear his. He never set one. So when our kids got up and got ready for school, an hour and a half after our alarms were supposed to go off, that's when we finally woke up. So thankfully, we have a very responsible 8-year-old who identified that there were no adults helping with anyone and came and woke us up. But it just made for a little rough start. I like my quiet in the morning. I think we've talked about this before.
Yes.
I like the quiet before the chaos, and I didn't get it. And so now I just feel like my whole day is off. So I'm going to have some quiet time later and try to reset before they come home because I was not very pleasant this morning.
That's okay. We're going to have a conversation in a little bit during our team talk about making sure we still have those healthy habits, even in November, because I do feel like they've dwindled in October. They're gone in November. And then we all burn ourselves out through the holidays. And then we expect for New Year's to like reset our lives. And so this is our focus for the day. We'll get into that. Do you have coffee? Are you at least drinking a little bit of coffee?
Yes.
Okay.
Shout out to Abby Lyons in the yoga lab for supplying my caffeine. Thank you, Abby.
You can't always give her company a shout out unless they're going to be an official sponsor of Teach Better Today.
That's the plan. That's what I'm working on.
I need someone in the comments to help me with what medicine I should be taking because I clearly have a cold. It's like in my nose and in my throat, like my tonsils are swollen, but like, yeah. So I just need some help. Like, what is the go-to, like over the counter, something that's going to help? Also, my ears are a little clogged. Like nothing is severe, but you can tell like,
it's coming.
Tomorrow's going to be a good day.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I think I love about you is that every time you get sick, it's like clockwork. You wake up, you're not feeling well, and I get a text, what drugs can I take? Every time. And it's like, Ray, my answer will remain the same. I'm a Sudafed person.
Oh, Sudafed makes me wonky.
Okay, I think that's so interesting because I'm going to say I grew up on it, which is not true, but like
I grew up chugging that stuff.
I mean, that was like a staple in our house. Like you get a cold, like high school, whatever. Everyone in our house always had Sudafed to like help with the like drying out your nose and whatever. But there's so many people now that I'm an adult who have said like, absolutely not. I'm like a crazy person on it. And I was like,
yeah,
fascinating because it seems like it's cold medicine, right? Wouldn't you agree? Like cold medicine seems to impact people differently. Like
cold medicine is horrible. Yeah, I have definitely like as an adult tried a few tried a few cold medicines and been like, whoa, that was I don't like that, how it made my body feel versus when I take, like a Tylenol, I don't have that
Right.
weird body experience. I think cold medicine is like out to make you feel worse. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's just here's my like where I struggle with like cold medicine or like that genre is that I never know what it is that I'm fighting. So if it's like, do I just have a runny nose today? Is it allergies? Is it because it's now 5 below 0? Is it like, I never know. So I'm like, well, what random thing can I take?
Right.
So if you are someone that seems to have figured out life and how to adult, please let us know. Drop it in the chat. What drugs should Ray Hewitt take?
I do want to be clear because we're in a community of teachers. I can say this. I know exactly how I'm sick because in my household, I'm the one who never gets sick because everybody in my household is sick every other week, literally every other week.
And
It's
I
like,
feel like you're sick often. So that's saying a lot.
yeah, like my household is always sick. I get sick every like 6 sicknesses that go through my house, which is more than I ever was sick before. So,
Yeah.
stinks and we shouldn't all live alone. I'm just saying. And obviously that's the solution. So this is like almost to the T, the sixth cold that has gone through. And I'm like, oh, there it is. Like, I'm right
This
on
is consistent.
so consistent. So like Matt came to me like 2 weeks ago sick and I was like, oh, how can I help you? Like, I'm not going to get this one.
And now here you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
I'm sorry, maybe a nap. I'm a big supporter of naps, as you know.
I also always believe that tea and honey will cure everything. You know me, when I get sick, I chug tea and honey. I live on tea and honey. And then it really doesn't do anything but make me feel like I'm doing something for myself.
Right. Okay, that is interesting that you said honey because we were just talking to friends of ours who are about to be parents for the first time. And
Ooh.
we were like discussing just like things that like you live and learn as parent, like, like 2 a.m, your kid won't stop coughing. What are the random things you will try?
Yes.
And I said, honey has been one of the like wives' tales that we like looked up when the kids were younger, and it has been consistent. And it is. It's like anytime anyone gets a cough in our house, they get a teaspoon of honey, and it's nice because it doesn't have any like drugs in it, so you can give them as much as you need. If like they keep coughing 3 hours later.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that you're an adult and you support the honey movement.
I will say I'm almost 100% positive that wives' tale exists because you're supposed to be eating local honey for like local like support. I obviously buy honey from who knows where that comes in a container. So I'm not actually sure it works, but I love the thought process. It's warm, makes me feel good. So cheers to all of you who are going to be drinking I'm drinking coffee now, but I will do honey and tea next. So all good things. We do need to get into our healthy habits conversation because I'm dying to like reinforce these skills. I might actually even take notes during our episode today. So we'll be right back. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Teach Better Today morning show. If you're listening over on Teach Better Talk podcast, we want to give you a special shout out. Please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. That helps us reach different listeners, more listeners. And we love being able to bring new educators into a supportive community. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or LinkedIn, we appreciate you too. And if you wouldn't even mind sharing this stream with maybe your favorite healthy tip or favorite healthy habit to share and better your own community and connect them with a supportive educational community with the Teach Better team, we appreciate it. There's so many different things that we can get into with healthy habits, but I truly believe that November is a good time to have this conversation. For many of us, the weather has changed, which inevitably changes our daily habits. So Katie, if we were to identify some basics, let's start pretty easy, some basic healthy habits that we want to give our community a reminder of, what do you think is a good spot to begin?
Well, I also want to just note that I think you were in my head yesterday because yesterday I was like, I need to get back on track.
Yeah.
And then, right. So I think defining what is healthy to you
Ooh.
is really important. That could be your headspace, that could be what you're consuming, it can be who you're around, or when I say consuming, I mean like eating, but also could be like your social media platforms and things like that. So I
Yes.
think deciding what in your mind is healthy, like what your plan is important.
Wait, so can we begin there? Because I, again, was just working on this also last night. We must have been having this like weird
Moment.
connection moment. I'm a visual person and I'm not trying to be the lamest human on the planet, but I use Pinterest to help me reset some of these
Okay.
things. You do too? Yeah.
Always.
So I make for all those of you who haven't done this, I make a private Pinterest board. So like no one else can see what I'm doing. It's not like I'm creating this public display of who Ray Hewitt is. But then I have a goal of like 5 to 10 things of the life that I want to live, the focus I want to have. Like, again, it's a vision board in
Mhm.
a, so to speak, to help me reset. Like, I love all the things you just listed. You put like healthy foods in there, healthy food recipes. Put the certain types of friends, that maybe symbolize certain friends that you want to have in your life. And I think that that's a good way for somebody listening to this conversation could begin that process. If you're not sure where you're headed and really need a reset because you don't know where you're going, starting from the basics is kind of important.
Well, and two, be mindful of like if you feel like you need a reset, why? What are the things? Like
Ooh.
for me right now, I know that mine is primarily like I'm not being as active. Yes, it's because I'm massively pregnant, but I'm not as active. And then I'm also coupling it with like just eating because of, Halloween and just having like junk in the house. And so I think those two things to me are like my current definition of healthy. But I
Yes.
also know that like in 3 months, it could be more because I'm on social media too much and I'm not consuming like books or, like I think it can evolve and I think it can change based on like your current status. But yeah, I would say kind of start either whether it's a vision board or create like a list of like what are the things that would help you define like I'm back on a healthy track. And I know I've seen on social media like some of our ambassadors, I follow them and they'll talk through how like back to the gym, haven't been here in a few weeks, or meal planning. And so whatever that looks like for you is really important to kind of take a minute to just say, okay, well, if I feel like I'm being unhealthy, what does that mean? What are the things that I'm doing that make me feel unhealthy and how can I change them? Because we know if we look at like you and I were just talking before we got on, like if we look at the first of the year as like our milestone, that list can be so overwhelming and daunting of all the things we want to get back on track. So start small and start just like looking at just a few things. So yes, for me right now, it's like eating. I need to
I
eat.
don't I don't think you and I have discussed this. So spoiler on the podcast. So I love this concept and I feel like I've been gaining weight because I'm like not moving as much as I need to, all these things. So one thing which I know you know about, a lot of people here also like have been engaging with me on social is like I'm walking every morning now,
Mhm.
talking to my mom, 5 a.m. walks. It's really, really nice. I also can't believe I'm admitting this. I signed up for a dance class. Like I know, look at your face.
No.
I know. So Monday nights, I sign up for an hour and a half, and I have a friend that's going with me. And I realize that it's not that I'm like against working out or against like
Mhm.
forcing movement. I just need mega accountability. So
Mhm.
the phone call with my mom makes the walk happen. Otherwise, the walk would not happen. Or like the dance class I signed up for, I have a friend that is meeting me there. And I have like the class that I paid for that I have to attend. Like, I
Mhm.
think that's a part of as you're reflecting on what needs to change, why it needs to change, what's the thing that's actually going to enact the change. And for the two focuses I had, it was like an extreme change. So I needed something that almost didn't fit in my schedule. Like my current schedule has to stay the same because I enjoy it. So now the walk's at 5 a.m. because at 5 a.m. there was nothing on my calendar. Like I'm pushing it like to the extreme. And the dance class, like totally out of the box. I would have never done this before.
Yep.
But again, an extreme with a ton of accountability.
Well, and pick things that you enjoy. Like those are both things you like looked forward to. I'm going to get up and talk to my mom and walk at the same time. Dance class, maybe slightly out of your comfort zone, but ultimately, you'll have fun. Because if
Yes.
you're trying to sign up for stuff or commit to things that you have zero interest in, you won't stick with it. And
Yes.
so I think that's hard too, is, sometimes I like look at Pinterest and I'm like picking at recipes. I'm like, yeah, this sounds really healthy and good, I guess. But like then when I actually go to start making it, I'm like, none of this sounds good. And so then
Yeah.
it's like easy for us to ditch that meal and do something unhealthy because we want the convenience factor.
Yeah, or oh my gosh, I'm notorious because I'm a failure at cooking, but I'm notorious for finding recipes that look awesome, but I need to buy 99% of the ingredients. So now it's become a really expensive meal.
Yep.
So then I lean on not doing it versus finding a recipe that 50% of it's already in the house. Like I don't need to buy seasonings or canned beans or whatever, because those already are there. So
yeah, so I think it kind of goes hand in hand. It's not only finding things that you will stick with because you enjoy them, but also things that are realistic. Don't push yourself super outside your comfort zone because then it's going to be a harder battle to constantly stick with. And this can be, I mean, you and I are specifically talking about things that we personally want to work on, but this can go even to your classroom. If you feel like you're maybe in an unhealthy mindset, reevaluate who are you talking to before and after school? Who are you going to for your mentor or your kind of group to get advice? Are there some toxic things in your day-to-day that maybe need to be cut out? And maybe not forever. Maybe it's just until you can get in a better headspace. But that also, to me, goes under the umbrella of being healthy. So really evaluate like all areas of your life to see if there's some small changes. Maybe like we've talked before, set a timer after school. Don't stand in the hallway complaining with your friends because right now it's not helping you. It's kind of getting you in a bad mindset. So instead, pack up your stuff and head home and maybe choose to go for a walk or something instead.
Yeah, so I'm reading this book called The Highly Sensitive Person, which was recommended by a friend. And I was very turned off by the title, to be completely honest with you, because I think that calling yourself highly sensitive, there's like a lot of negative connotations. Like you're weak, you're not like a giving member of society. There's a lot there. Anyway, one of the activities in this book that was really interesting was it had you list 10 people in your life that you think add value to you. So, everybody from friends, family, like anything that you want to see, coworkers, all that. And then you had to tally over the course of 2 weeks, you had to tally how many interactions you had with them versus how many interactions you had with people that were not on your list. And it was an interesting audit to ensure that the people that you really want to give focus to are actually the things you are unconsciously giving focus to. So something interesting we could all choose to do this week. Little audit of, because for example, like Katie, I love spending time with you. You're one of my best friends. I love our little crew, even though I think you're annoying and whatever. You do add value to my life. But if I didn't audit my calendar and I was only engaging with you like in 10 days, I wasn't engaging with you once, like then I might call you a great friend and I might know you're good for me. But if you're not engaging with me over 10 days, it's like, well, I'm not actually getting any benefit from this, like that I need out of this experience. So, anyway, it was just interesting. So, I would add my mom on that list. I would add, Matt's mom, Matt's family on that list. I would add, friends. I would add really, great coworkers, but those toxic people probably would not make the list. And that's important for us to think about.
And it's important for us to, like you said, reflect and take actions and next steps to make it so that you are consuming healthy relationships, healthy habits, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Excited to see all of your ideas in the comments, friends. And before we kind of wrap up this conversation, I would love for you to add in the comments, maybe your dedication, like your statement. I will work on this. I will reset, whether it be in your personal life, professional life, classroom, give us those updates. But we always love that like tiny bit of accountability in our conversation. So commit right now to making sure that you're going to do a little audit of your healthy habits. And if it ends up that you do this audit and you're doing really well, then yay to you, like huge celebration. And if there's tweaks that you end up wanting, then now's the time to do it.
Right.
So good. Friends, we will see you soon. Have an amazing day and more to come. See you later. Hey, Teach Better community. Thank you so much for joining the Teach Better Today morning show every single weekday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We have so many resources for you outside of this live stream at teachbetter.com, including blogs, podcasts, and professional development that will bring our team to your school. Wherever you are listening from this morning, please make sure you are sharing and celebrating the incredible educators in this world. And hey, if you are listening over on a podcast to Teach Better Talk, we would love a 5-star review. The comments are always so entertaining. We'll see you tomorrow.